Hello reader babes, welcome to my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for finding me. I am so happy to have you here. Today is my day of birth. I am 25 years old. Crazy. And in true adult fashion, I have done a fat book haul because that is why we make money, to spend them on books. Yeah. I have 25 books to share for 25 years, and they're not all books I just woke up and bought. They're books I've accumulated over the last few months / were gifted as birthday presents from friends and family. So they add up to 25, so I thought I'd do a 25 for 25 book haul. Let's hop into it. Okay, so the first book that I'm very excited to share is The Flat Share by Beth O'Leary. I was watching someone's YouTube channel. I can't remember who, so I'll post a picture if I can remember. And they said this book reminds them of Divine Rivals, because in Divine Rivals, if you haven't read it, it's a really good book, by the way, if you haven't read it. But in Divine Rivals, the two love interests communicate via letters to each other through this magical typewriter. And this isn't the same in terms of magical typewriters. There's no fantasy in this book, but they do communicate through leaving notes to each other. And I thought that was really, really cute. So from what I know, I think he works the night shift, she works the day shift, and they share a 1-bedroom flat. And by the time he gets back from work, she's off out the door, and the same vice versa. So they don't really cross paths, so they leave each other cute little notes. And I don't know, I think Divine Rivals got me obsessed with the whole leaving letters with each other, leaving notes with each other. So I'm excited, but I'll read you the blurb so you get a proper understanding of the book, just in case you are also interested in picking this up. Their friends think they're crazy, but it's the perfect solution. Leon occupies the 1-bed flat while Tiffany's at work in the day, and she has the run of the place the rest of the time. But with the obsessive ex-boyfriends, wrongly imprisoned brothers, drama, and of course the fact that they still haven't met yet, it seems that their flat share is more complicated than expected. They're going to fall in love, and I'm excited to read it. I think I'm going to pick this up soon. I'm excited because I love Divine Rivals, and this gives me similar vibes based on what her video said. So The Flat Share, Beth O'Leary, is one of the books I got in this book haul. Okay, the next one, you might think I'm crazy, okay? So I have the Chestnut Spring series. Now, I have said in previous videos that I kind of wanted to read these books because everybody says, I'm holding these so awkwardly, but everyone says that these books are amazing. These are cowboy romance books. Now, you might be thinking, Angela, why did you buy 4? Why did you buy the whole series when you haven't even read one book? You might not like it. I'll tell you what, okay? Bear with me. So, if I go to Amazon, one of these books is £8 Great British pounds, okay? But I went on the works. All 4 of these books were £8. Exactly. So it doesn't make any girl maths. It doesn't make any sense for me to get one. Does it? No. So I had to get 4. So I'm going to read them all. I'm going to read them in order because I might as well. They're cowboy romances. I'm guessing it's based in America somewhere. And I'll read the blurb of just the first one. So, I'm the golden boy of professional bull riding. Or at least I was until it all blew up in my face. Now my agent says I have to clean up my image, so I'm stuck with his bull busting daughter for the rest of the season as my full-time supervision. But I don't need a goddamn babysitter, especially one with skin-tight jeans. Why are you looking at her jeans? A sexy smirk and a mouth she can't stop running. A mouth I can't stop thinking about. She says this means nothing. I say this means everything. She says there are boundaries we shouldn't cross, that my reputation can't take any more hits, and neither can her damaged heart. I'm going to steal it anyway. I'm sold. In my, I think, October reading wrap-up, I read Beartown by Frederick Backman, and I loved that book. And that book is so outside of my comfort zone. I only really read romance, and that is not a romance book. And then in my end-of-year TBR video, I said that I was maybe considering picking up the next book in the series, because when I read Beartown, I actually didn't know it was a series. I thought it was a one and done, and I was kind of disappointed to find out that it was a series because I didn't want something else to commit to. But in true me fashion, I have found myself missing the characters, missing Beartown, and I want to know how my boys are doing, okay? I have 4 best friends in that book, and I need to know that they are okay. So, this is called The Winners, and it is the second book in the Beartown trilogy, because I think there's 3. I'm not sure if it's continuing. I'm not sure if it's ongoing, but as of right now, there's 3. I don't want to read the blurb because I don't want anything in here to spoil the first book, but I loved Beartown. I picked up book 2. Okay, so I read, what is it called? I think it's called A Not So Meet Cute, or a Meets Cute, something. Is it cute meet or meet cute? here, picture. I read that book earlier this year and I loved it. It was a stupid book. Like, everything that happened in that book is so unrealistic, but I absolutely loved it. It was cute, it was fluffy, it was silly. I loved it. So then I was like, okay, let me continue reading that book. It's a series, by the way. I'm not sure if I said that. So I was like, okay, let me continue reading that book. So I read book 2 of that, which is So Not Meant to Be. I hate that book with a passion. I absolutely hated it with everything in me. So I was like, yeah, I'm done with the series. But I have seen in Goodreads and on Amazon reviews that the 3rd book is better rated and people seem to prefer that book. So I thought I might as well pick it up in my book haul. So I picked up, I hate the cover. Like, I'm not going to be seen outside reading this. Like, come on now, have some shame. Anyway, it's called A Long Time Coming. There's 3 brothers. They are billionaires. They own a property company, and each of the books is each of them finding love, pretty much. I know the first one, he lied and said that he had a fiance to secure a deal, so he had to find a fiance. And the second book is a like close proximity book. I hated that book. The female main character was absolutely insufferable, but if you want to read that, you do you. And the 3rd book is A Long Time Coming. I think in this one, the main character, the male main character and the female main character are childhood besties. So I think they've known each other for a long time, unlike the other 2 books where they met in the course of the books. So I think I did love the first one, and the second one was disrespectful, but I think I'm going to give it a go and try A Long Time Coming. I have 2 Ali Hazelwood books. I think I mentioned in a previous video that I wanted to try Love Theoretically because I've heard really good things about it. And then I also bought Check and Mate, which is her YA book. I don't mind YA. So yeah, these are the 2 Ali Hazelwood books I picked up. I think they're just fluffy romances with a science background and a chess background, and I am excited to read them. Okay, so I travelled recently with some friends and my cousin to celebrate my birthday, and at the bookshop in the airport, my cousin said that this was a 5-star read for her. Now, one thing about my cousin is she has like 4 5-star reads, and she's read so many books because she's been a reader babe forever. So for this to be one of her top 4 books of all time, I was like, let me pick it up. It is a Brandon Sanderson, and it is a high fantasy. Now, I don't know if I'm a high fantasy girly. Okay, so apparently high fantasy is when it's a completely different world out there. Yeah, nothing to do with Earth and us, how us mere mortals are living. Whereas a low fantasy is like, okay, it's set in our world, but maybe something magical is happening. Like Divine Rivals, they have magical typewriters. Like the 7 Year Slip, they have an apartment that goes back in time. Like, it's based on Earth, but something magical is going on. So I don't know if I'm a high fantasy girly. Okay, yeah, the only high fantasy I've ever read in my life was Fourth Wing. I think it's only Fourth Wing. And I loved it when I read it. Okay, I still love it now. It was a good book to me. First ever fantasy. I enjoyed it. Then I tried to read Iron Flame and I couldn't get, like, I think my Kindle says stuck at 10% and I'm not continuing it. Like, that is not good. And I realised I don't actually care. Like, I don't care about anything that's going on. So I'm not sure if that's I don't like high fantasy or that book was just trash. So I think I'm going to give this a go, but not yet, okay? I don't think my brain is developed enough for this. I think I need to dive into other fantasies. I do have another fantasy series. I probably should have done that before this. I'll do that next. The Final Empire says, for 1,000 years, the ash fell. For 1,000 years, Scar. Slaved in misery and lived in fear. For 1,000 years, the Lord Ruler reigned with absolute power and ultimate terror, divinely invincible. Every attempted revolt has failed miserably, yet somehow hope survives. A new kind of uprising is being planned, one that depends on the cunning of a brilliant criminal mastermind and the courage of an unlikely heroine. A Scar Street. See, this is what I mean. I don't think my brain is developed enough for this yet. But she says that this is amazing, and this is just family trust right here. So we will see if I ever get to this. But I bought it at the airport, so this is in my 25 books. Okay, the other fantasy series that I was talking about that I do plan on reading ASAP is the Shepherd King duology. The first one is One Dark Window, and the second one is Two Twisted Crowns. I love that it's a duology. Like, it's not everyday 5-book commitment. Anyway, so I got no idea what these are about. Let's read it. Okay. I'm stuck on the first word. What's her name? Elspeth? This girl needs more than luck to save her life in the air. Mist-locked kingdom of Blunder. She needs a monster. She calls him the Nightmare, an ancient mercurial spirit trapped in her head. He protects her, he keeps her secret, but nothing comes for free, especially magic. When the girl meets a mysterious highwayman on the forest road, she is thrust into a world of shadow and deception. Together they embark on a dangerous quest to cure the town of Blunder from the dark magic infecting it. As the stakes heighten and their undeniable attraction intensifies, she is forced to face her darkest secret yet. The nightmare is slowly, darkly taking over her mind, and she might not be able to stop him. So I have heard people talk about it, and people always say, like, oh, I struggle to describe this book. But I think she's got like a fog or something going on in her mind. That's all I know. But it's enough. It's enough to hook me, and then I'm not going to bother reading the blurb of the second one because I don't know what the first one is about. But yes, this is a fantasy that I plan to be diving into very soon. Next book that we have up is Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. This is I'm not sure if this is a second chance romance or a marriage in crisis, but I've heard people describe this book with so much love. It's ridiculous. Like, this book is hyped up, and I'm excited to read it. I have tried a few Kennedy Ryan books before. I've tried her Hoop series, and I'm not going to lie, it wasn't for me. The first one was amazing, but it was very, very heavy. So if you do want to read that book, check your trigger warnings. I believe it's called Longshot. I hated the second one with a passion, and the third one I found it a bit boring. So it ranged from 1 to 5 stars. But one thing I will say, across all of the books, even the ones that weren't for me, her writing is absolutely phenomenal. Like, the way she describes things is absolutely insane. So I'm really, really hoping that I'm going to have nothing but love for this book. But let's read it. Their love was supposed to last forever, but when life delivered blow after devastating blow, Yasmin and Josiah found love has its limits. It couldn't save their marriage. Yasmin wasn't prepared for how her life fell apart, but she's finally starting to find joy again. She and Josiah have found a new rhythm, co-parenting their 2 kids and running a thriving business together. I do not know. I don't think I could work with a partner, let alone an ex. Anyway, yet like magnets, they're always drawn back to each other, and now they're beginning to wonder if they're truly ready to let go of everything they once had. One stolen kiss leads to another, and then more. It's hot, it's illicit, it's good until it starts to hurt again. As old wounds reopen, Yasmin and Josiah wonder if it is too late for them to find forever. Could they be even better the second time around? I'm excited. I'm sold. Okay, Before I Let Go, Kennedy Ryan. I think I mentioned this in my 2023 TBR. This is Forget Me Not. I bought this a couple months back. He is a florist. She's an event planner. They fall in love. This is The Comeback. I also bought this at the works. Adrian thrives on routine. So what if everything in her life is planned down to the last minute? That's the way she likes it. If she's going to make partner in Toronto's most prestigious law firm, she needs to stay focused at all times. But when she comes home after yet another soul-sucking day to find an unfamiliar, gorgeous man camped outside her living room, focus is the last thing on her mind, especially when her roommate explains that this is Troy, freshly arrived from Seoul to mend a broken heart. He just needs a few weeks to rest and heal. Ari will barely know he's even there. Yeah, right. This sounds a bit cringy, but I'm probably going to give it a go anyway. But The Comeback. This is Love Redesigned by Lauren Asher. I think she wrote the Dreamland Billionaire series, which is a popular series. I bought book 1 a while ago, and I started it, but I didn't continue it. I don't know. I thought that I wasn't going to enjoy it just from the vibe. I might be wrong. If I read this and I enjoy it, then maybe I'll read her other work, but I can't judge the other book because I didn't really give it a proper chance. But this one is a billionaire romance as well. And I just love a billionaire romance. Like, let me live through books if this isn't my actual life. Julian and Dahlia are the main 2 characters according to the back. I think this is just a cute, fluffy romance, to be fair, but I've heard it is good. I will give it a go. The next books I have are the Six of Crows duology. I think this is part of, it says Grishaverse, but I know that this comes after Shadow and Bone. But I've heard a lot of people say Shadow and Bone isn't good. Six of Crows is amazing. So I'm not going to sit there and read something that, you know, you're telling me isn't good. But Shadow and Bone is a series on Netflix. I'm thinking to just watch the series on Netflix. I already started like half of episode 1. So I'm thinking to commit to that and then read these after, because I've heard really good things. My cousin as well said that these were amazing, and she didn't read Shadow and Bone first. So yes, Six of Crows is the first book in the duology, and The Crooked Kingdom is next. The next book I have on my list is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. And I bought this book a while ago, and it's been on my list to read, and I might still pick it up. But Nikel, she's a YouTuber, a booktuber. She made a video and she reviewed this, and she didn't really like it. And I listened to her reasons for not liking it, and I just felt like that would piss me off too. So I have mixed feelings about reading this. I'm probably still going to give it a go, because obviously I want to form my own opinion, but I found it quite funny that I literally watched her video the other day of her saying why she didn't like it, and I was like, yeah, that would annoy me too. So we'll see. But this is also I was gonna say a trio. I was gonna say duology, but anyway, there's 3 books in this series. So I think Dani Brown, I've heard good things about. So if I don't like this, I could always continue on with the series. But I thought that was just a bit funny to share. Thursday Murder Club. This is in my 2023 TBR video, but this is a bunch of retirees who solve murder mysteries together. I think it will be a wholesome read, so that is why I picked this one up. Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute. This is a YA romance book. I think it's based in high school. I'm not going to even pretend to know what it's about, but the cover is adorable. Eleanor Olaf is completely fine. The only reason I bought this book was because I think her name is pronounced Kalila. I'm sorry if it is wrong. I will insert her a screenshot somewhere. But she raves about this book so much. I think she was doing a book tag, and this came up as the winner for so many characters. Like favorite book, this book. Favorite character in a book, this book. So I was sold based on that video. So I wanted to give it a go. And the blurb says, Eleanor Oliphant leads a simple life. She wears the same clothes to work every day, eats the same meal for lunch every day, and buys the same 2 bottles of vodka to drink every weekend. Eleanor Oliphant is happy. Nothing is missing from her carefully timetabled existence, except sometimes everything. I don't know if the blurb would have told me, but Kalila's video did, so I will be reading this. I picked up House in the Cerulean Sea. I'm not sure if my lighting is doing this book justice, but yes, House in the Cerulean Sea, because I hear people describe this book as super cozy and super warm, and it is cold. I want to feel cozy and warm, so I picked up this book. Linus Baker leads a quiet life. At 40, he has a tiny house with a devious cat and his beloved records for company. At the department in charge of magical youth, he spent many dull years monitoring their orphanages. Then one day, Linus is summoned by the extremely upper management and is given a highly classified assignment. He must travel to an orphanage where 6 dangerous children reside, including the Antichrist. There, Linus must somehow determine if they could bring on the end of the days. But their guardian, charming and enigmatic Arthur, will do anything to protect his wards. As Arthur and Linus grow ever closer, Linus must choose between duty and his dreams. I don't know if that blurb told me anything, but people have said it's cute. I like cute. I'm gonna give it a go. The next book is I Feed Her to the Beast and the Beast is Me. I don't know what this book is about. I bought it for the cover. As I said in my 2023 video, I just bought it for the cover. I think I read Their Vicious Games, and then on the suggested, this beautiful cover came at me, and I was like, yeah, absolutely. And then finally, I bought My Sister the Serial Killer. I saw this in Waterstones when I was in there, and the lovely lady at the till said that this book was absolutely hilarious, and it is a fun, enjoyable read. I also like that it's really, really short. So yes. Okay, so that is 25 books for 25. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you got some suggestions on some books that you might be interested in. Please let me know if you did, and I will see you on the next one.